Imagine, if you will, the sensory overload of a bustling television station hallway.
Hmm.
It's a Tuesday or maybe a Wednesday. The day doesn't really matter as much as the vibe.
Or the energy.
You've got that smell of stale coffee, the hum of the fluorescent lights. People are rushing around with clipboards.
Total chaos.
Total chaos. And you are walking down this corridor. You're minding your own business. Maybe you're mentally organizing your to-do list for the next hour.
Yep.
You are holding a very important piping hot cup of coffee. It is the one thing anchoring you to sanity.
I've been there.
And then out of nowhere, physics takes over. Bam.
Collision course.
Exactly. You are tackled to the industrial linoleum floor. The breath is knocked out of you. Your glasses, your expensive prescription frames go flying across the tiles.
The worst.
That precious coffee, it is currently soaking into your crisp button-down shirt.
Of course it is.
And when you finally shake off the concussion and look up to see who or what has just upended your very orderly, very controlled life, you aren't staring at a coworker. You aren't staring at a producer.
No.
You are staring into the face of a woman dressed as a giant sea turtle.
And just to be clear for you listening, we aren't talking about, like, a cute little headband with turtle ears.
No.
We are talking full commitment. The
The
shell.
huge shell.
The scaly texture. And the fins.
Especially the fins. Those fins are basically weapons in a confined space.
They really are.
This isn't a fever dream I'm describing. This is the opening act of the deep dive we are embarking on today.
It's quite an opening.
We are looking at Indanivan. No. Back to You by B.K. Borison. And look, I know what some of you are thinking. You see the cover, you see the blurb, and you think, okay, this is a rom-com. It's a Drunk meets Sunshine story. I know how this goes.
And you wouldn't be wrong.
You would be wrong about the genre. But if you stop there, you are missing the absolute goldmine underneath.
That's right. Once you peel back the layers, or the turtle shell in this case, there's so much more going on here.
So much more.
This is a story about the psychology of control versus the inevitability of chaos. It's a character study on how we cope with the trauma of our upbringings, specifically parentification, which we will absolutely get into.
Oh, we will.
And, perhaps most surprisingly, it serves as a very intense, scientifically accurate debate about the merits of the European weather model versus the global forecast system.
Which, I have to admit, I never thought I'd be shouting about in a deep dive, but here we are.
Here we are.
I am now fully invested in medium-range weather forecasting data assimilation. So our mission today is to unpack this collision. We have Jackson Clark, a man who schedules his life down to the millisecond, and Delilah Stewart, a woman who seems to attract disaster like a lightning rod.
Perfect opposites.
We're going to explore their meet disaster, analyze why they are the way they are, and see what happens when you force two polar opposites into a compact car and tell them to drive into a historic blizzard.
It's the classic forced proximity trope, sure, but it's executed with a lot of psychological depth.
A lot.
Borison uses the weather not just as a plot device, but as a metaphor for their internal states.
Okay, so where do we start?
So let's start with the players, because you can't understand the storm until you understand the atmospheric pressure systems creating it.
Let's start with the sunshine. The chaos agent, Delilah Stewart.
Yes.
She's a reporter for YBL News in Baltimore. Now, in this fictional universe, if you live in Baltimore, you know Delilah. She's the fun reporter. She's the one they send to the county fair, the one they send to interview the local cat that learned to play piano.
Fun, in heavy quotation marks, perhaps.
It's very heavy.
Because while her public persona is bright, bubbly, and she connects so easily with the community, the reality of her job is actually quite humiliating, the classic sad clown paradox.
Oh, absolutely. The source material paints a really grim picture of her work life.
It does.
She's not reporting on hard news. She's not even reporting on the weather, which is her actual passion and her expertise.
Right. She's a trained meteorologist.
Exactly. But her boss, Keith, who is just... Well, we will definitely get to Keith.
Oh, we'll get to Keith.
He assigns her these absurd segments designed to, like, strip her of dignity.
It's not just the turtle suit. That's really just the tip of the iceberg.
It's the beginning.
We're talking about her sitting on a toilet for the toilet races at Hampton Fest.
A literal toilet on wheels.
A literal toilet on wheels. Or dressing up as a giant jar of relish for opening day at the ballpark.
Relish jar.
In the book, she's often referred to as a human disaster. She is physically clumsy. She slips, she falls, she spills things.
All the time.
But here's the key distinction. While the audience laughs with her because she's charming, her boss is laughing at her.
Right. And that's a crucial difference. She's intelligent. She is, as you said, a trained meteorologist.
Yeah.
She knows her fluid dynamics.
She does.
But she's being undermined constantly. Why do you think she stays? Why endure the relish suit?
That's the question, isn't it? I think it connects to her need for validation. She mentions she loves the community, she loves making people smile, but there's also this sense that she feels she deserves the chaos, or at least that her role in life is to be the one who takes the hit so others can be happy.
So she sacrifices her dignity for the bit.
She does, every single time.
And then you have the flip side of the coin. The grump, the control freak. Jackson Clark.
Jackson is the meteorologist for 101.6 Leet FM, and if Delilah is a hurricane, Jackson is a high-pressure system, a stillness.
A very still stillness.
But not a peaceful stillness, a
Yeah.
very rigid, terrified stillness. He hates ad-libbing. He loves spreadsheets. He loves silence.
And he loves his emergency cruffin.
The emergency cruffin is a critical detail. We need to stop and appreciate the cruffin.
For those not in the know or who haven't visited a high-end bakery recently, let's break this down. A cruffin is a hybrid pastry. It is the bastard child of a croissant and a muffin.
It's actually a marvel of baking engineering. You take laminated dough croissant dough, which has layers of butter and flour folded over and over, and you bake it in a muffin tin so you get the height and the shape of a muffin, but the flaky, buttery layers of a croissant.
And Jackson keeps one in his toaster oven for stressful mornings.
This is a man who wraps his cruffin in a paper towel and cradles it like a newborn baby.
It speaks to his need for comfort, but also for specific, high-quality experiences.
Exactly. He doesn't just eat a granola bar, he eats a cruffin. But it also speaks to his rigidity. He has an emergency protocol for breakfast.
Good breakfast.
Jackson color codes his life. He keeps his contacts in a Rolodex.
Okay, we have to talk about the Rolodex, because this story takes place in the modern day. Who, under the age of 60, uses a physical Rolodex?
Someone who doesn't trust the cloud. Someone who doesn't trust digital permanence. A Rolodex is tangible. You can touch the card.
That makes sense for him.
If the power grid goes down, Jackson still has his contacts. It's an extreme form of risk aversion. He is writing things down because he wants to control the record.
So we have the woman who is forced to be a joke and the man who is terrified of becoming one.
And naturally, they have a history.
They do.
And it's not a romantic history. It's a parking lot war.
This is one of my favorite details because it's so petty, yet so relatable.
It's amazing.
Before the book even starts, they've been passive-aggressively fighting over parking spots for 2 years.
Well, let's be accurate here. Jackson has been passive-aggressive.
That's fair.
Delilah has just been parking. She drives a pink VW Beetle, and apparently she parks crookedly.
Jackson says her bumper hangs out. He claims it encroaches on his space.
And to Jackson, whose life is governed by lines, boundaries, and geometric precision, a bumper hanging over the white line is an offense against nature.
It's a moral failing.
It's not just bad parking, it's a moral failure. So he leaves Post-it notes on her car.
He leaves sad-faced drawings. He leaves notes about the angle of her tires.
It's so petty.
It's so petty, but it tells you so much about him. He can't just let it go. He has to correct it. He has this compulsion to fix the wrongness in his environment.
And Delilah, for her part, just thinks he's a jerk.
Yeah.
She doesn't see the anxiety driving the behavior. She just sees a guy who leaves mean notes because her tire is 2 inches to the left.
But she keeps the notes.
She keeps the notes, though, which is interesting.
It is. Which brings us back to the turtle suit incident. This is the inciting incident of the story.
The Big Bang.
Delilah is at the aquarium doing a segment on a sea turtle named Domino.
A shell of a time, she calls it.
Oh, the puns are painful.
They really are. And her cameraman, Mark, tells her she has to go straight to a meeting with Keith.
Right. No time to change.
She begs to stop at home to change. She's desperate to get out of the costume. But there's no time, so she walks into the station and eventually into the hallway outside Keith's office, fully dressed as a reptile.
And this is where the collision happens.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
She's rushing one way, panic-stricken about being late. Jackson is rushing the other way, probably thinking about his spreadsheets.
Probably color-coding them in his mind.
And they crash. Coffee goes everywhere. Jackson is pinned to the floor. His glasses, his favorite glasses, are broken.
And he's lying there, blinded, wet, with a woman in a turtle shell on top of him.
What a scene.
And his reaction isn't to laugh. It isn't to ask if she's okay.
No.
It's to sigh and say, of course, it's you.
It's you.
It's the perfect metaphor. Jackson's carefully constructed world of order is physically knocked over by Delilah's chaos. He can't see clearly, literally, because his glasses are broken and he's covered in stains. It forces him to stop. It strips him of his defenses immediately.
And then the humiliation continues. They have to go into this meeting wet.
Broken
glasses, turtle suit. And Keith, the boss from Nightmares, is there with Maggie, who runs the radio station where Jackson works.
And this meeting is where the plot really kicks in. The proposal is that the radio station and the TV station are going to partner up to cover a massive winter storm heading for western Maryland.
Garrett County, the wilderness, basically. Deep Creek Lake area.
Exactly. And the catch is Jackson and Delilah must host the segments together.
Jackson immediately hates this. Why? Is it just because he dislikes Delilah?
No, it's deeper than that. I mean, that's part of it.
Sure.
But he hates it because it requires ad-libbing. Jackson is a scripter. He reads prepared remarks. He prepares forecasts based on data.
Right.
To sit in a car or a booth and just banter, that is his nightmare. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And he hates it because he finds Delilah confusing.
She doesn't fit his algorithms.
She doesn't fit.
And Delilah hates it because she thinks it's another prank.
Yeah.
She thinks Keith is setting her up to fail.
Yeah.
She actually asks, is this because I park crooked?
Which is funny, but also deeply sad. She's so used to being the punchline that she assumes a professional assignment, a huge opportunity, is actually a setup. She can't conceive of a world where Keith actually respects her talent.
So, okay, let's unpack Jackson first. Because it's so easy to write him off as just a stuffed shirt, as his mother calls him.
It is easy.
But there is a reason he is the way he is. We need to go into the psychology of Jackson Clark.
Yes. Jackson isn't just a grump. He is a textbook case of parentification.
Parentification. Let's define that for you listening.
Parentification is a type of role reversal where a child is obliged to act as a parent to their own parent or to their siblings.
Okay.
In Jackson's case, he has full custody of his twin 15-year-old sisters, Adeline and Penelope.
And these girls are great characters.
They're fantastic.
They're witty, they're observant, they actually like Delilah, they listen to her broadcast and think she's hilarious.
They do. But the dynamic with Jackson is fascinating. He took custody of them when he was 20. 20 years old. Think about where you were at 20. Probably figuring out college, maybe partying, making mistakes.
I can't imagine being handed two 8-year-olds at age 20 and being told, okay, keep them alive.
Exactly. So he had to grow up instantly. This is what we call skipped adolescence. He went from being a brother to being the person responsible for their survival. His rigidity isn't a personality quirk, it's a survival mechanism.
It has to be.
If he controls everything, the schedule, the food, the finances, then nothing bad can happen to the girls. He believes that if he relaxes for 1 second, the wheels fall off.
And the sorts of that necessity. The reason he had to step up.
The mother, Camille.
Camille.
Camille is a chaotic force. We get a glimpse of her through a phone call. She calls Jackson, and the background noise is just cacophony.
Right.
She's constantly changing careers, essential oils, goat yoga, now music management. She is the epitome of flighty.
And she doesn't even know how old the girls are. That detail wrecked me.
That was the detail that really struck me, too. She thinks they were 12.
Oh, that hurts. That is visceral.
They are 15.
15.
It's devastating. Jackson has to correct her. And then she has the audacity to tell Jackson he's a stuffed shirt and that he needs to have fun.
It's zero self-awareness. It's unbelievable.
It's worse than that. It's gaslighting.
It is?
She created the situation where he had to be the responsible one because she was so unreliable. She abandoned the post. He stepped up to man the fort, and now she mocks him for wearing the uniform.
Wow.
Jackson's obsession with the Farmer's Almanac, with spreadsheets, with weather models, it's a direct response to her.
That makes so much sense.
He predicts the weather because he could never predict his mother.
That is such a powerful insight. The weather is chaos, right? It's storms, it's wind. But it's chaos governed by physics. It's chaos governed by rules. If you study the data enough, you can see the storm coming.
You can see it coming.
You couldn't see Camille coming.
Precisely. Meteorology is the science of predicting the unpredictable. It is the perfect career for a man traumatized by instability.
Yep.
And that brings us to the European model versus the GFS model debate, which is where this psychology translates into hard science.
Yes. We have to talk about the weather models. Because this isn't just background noise, this is a major plot point.
It really is.
This is where Jackson realizes Delilah isn't just a weather girl in a costume.
Right. So earlier in the story, Delilah had presented data to Keith using the European weather model, predicting this massive snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Keith called it garbage. Jackson initially also preferred the Global Forecast System, or GFS.
Okay, lay it on me. What is the actual difference between these two models? Why does it matter?
So the GFS is the American model run by NOAA. It's updated 4 times a day. It's a great model.
Okay.
But the European model, the ECMWF, is widely regarded by meteorologists as the king of medium-range forecasting.
The king. Why is it the king?
It comes down to computing power and data assimilation. The European Center uses a more sophisticated method called 4D VAR data assimilation. Without getting too bogged down in the calculus, it essentially takes a better snapshot of the atmosphere's current state. Because if your starting data is even slightly better, your forecast 5 days out is significantly more accurate.
It's the butterfly effect.
It's the butterfly effect.
Right.
The Euro model handles the butterfly effect better.
So when Delilah chooses the Euro model, she's actually making a very sophisticated scientific choice.
A very sophisticated choice.
She's looking at a storm that is 5-7 days out, and she knows the Euro handles that timeline better than the GFS.
Exactly. Jackson dismisses the European model initially, probably because he's a creature of habit and perhaps a bit of a, patriot for the American GFS.
There.
But then he goes back to his office. He runs the numbers himself. He runs dual projections.
And he realizes she was right.
He realizes that the Euro model is locking onto a storm track that the GFS is missing. Delilah was right.
The turtle lady beat him on the science.
She did, and this is a huge moment for him. He has to admit that the woman he dismissed as chaos actually did better science than he did.
It chips away at his superiority complex.
It forces him to respect her competence.
Which brings us to Delilah's deep dive. Because if Jackson is hiding behind spreadsheets, Delilah is hiding behind a smile. We talked about the sad clown idea, but let's go deeper.
Delilah's situation is heartbreaking in a different way. She is dealing with severe workplace toxicity.
It's so bad.
Keith isn't just mean, he's actively sabotaging her career.
Yes.
He ignored her data until the National Weather Service confirmed it, and even then he gave the credit to the station, not her.
You used station resources, he says. That line made my blood boil.
It's classic minimization. He puts her in these costumes to undermine her credibility. If she's the turtle lady, no one will trust her to predict a blizzard. He's keeping her in a box so she can't outshine him.
But she takes it.
Yeah.
She smiles through it. Why? Is she just a pushover?
No, I don't think so. I think she's resilient. She mentions how much she loves making people smile.
Right.
But there's a heavier reason, too. Her grandfather.
This part. Oh, man. This is where the book stops being funny for a second and gets very real.
Very real.
She cares for her grandfather, who has Alzheimer's or dementia.
There's a scene right before the big broadcast where he calls her. And he's confused. He thinks she's a child.
Little girl?
He asks why she isn't home from school yet.
And she has to play along. She creates this gentle fiction for him. She says, I'll be home soon, we'll have lemon cookies.
It's an immense emotional burden. This is what we call ambiguous loss. She is grieving the loss of her grandfather while he is still alive.
Wow.
She's managing the slow fade of the person she loves most, and she's doing it alone. Her cheerfulness at work is a shield. It's armor.
Absolutely.
If she cracks at work, if she lets the sadness in, she might crumble everywhere. So she smiles, she wears the turtle suit, she endures Keith. Because if she can survive Keith, she can survive the grief.
So you have these two people both carrying the weight of the world, both misunderstood by the other. Jackson thinks Delilah is a flake. Delilah thinks Jackson is a robot. And then they meet at Skullduggery.
Skullduggery, a cafe bookstore in Fells Point. Great name, by the way.
A great name.
Jackson asks to meet there to discuss the trip.
And he orders for her. This is a pivotal moment.
He does. And this is the first crack in the armor. He orders a donut the size of her human head covered in sprinkles.
He says, I ordered whatever had the most sprinkles.
Which is funny because he claims he doesn't pay attention to her. He claims she's just noise to him.
Right.
But he clearly knows exactly what she likes. He has observed her enough to know that sprinkles equal happiness for Delilah. It's a peace offering.
An olive branch or a donut.
A very large donut.
And then they have the conversation. The truce.
Jackson admits she was right about the European model. That's a massive admission for a guy like him.
Huge.
He essentially says, my data was wrong, yours was right.
And Delilah opens up about Keith. She tells him, I think he's sabotaging me. She voices the fear she's been hiding.
And Jackson believes her. He doesn't question it. He doesn't ask for proof. He doesn't play devil's advocate.
He just listens.
He just listens. That validation is huge for Delilah. For the first time, someone sees her struggle and validates it.
And they realize they're both doing this assignment for other people. Jackson is doing it for his sisters, to show them he can be fun and spontaneous, to prove he isn't just a wallet and a rule book.
And Delilah is doing it to prove she's a serious meteorologist.
They find common ground.
And then the Post-it notes make a comeback.
I love this scene. It's so childish, yet so perfect.
It really is.
Delilah pulls out a stack of Post-its, which Jackson naturally has on his person because of course he does.
Of course he has Post-its.
And they write a contract to be on their best behavior.
Let's look at the terms. Delilah's terms. No picking fights, no making fun, and no parking sabotage.
Jackson's terms. No sad face notes.
But the best part is the asterisk. Jackson adds a clause.
Yes.
He writes, "Will allow for mishaps and mistakes without complaint."
That is surprisingly tender for Jackson.
It is. It's him acknowledging that things will go wrong because Delilah is involved, but agreeing to not hold it against her.
It's an acceptance of chaos.
It's the moment they stop being enemies and start being teammates. He is pre-forgiving her for the clumsiness he knows is coming.
So they have a deal, they have a contract. Now they just have to survive the first broadcast.
The announcement. They have to go on air at Lead FM to announce the partnership.
And the contrast between the two stations is so stark. We talked about YBL being a toxic wasteland.
Total wasteland.
But Lit FM is warm.
It's a family. You have Aiden and Lucy, who seem to be the station's power couple, throwing paper airplanes and being in love.
It was lovely.
There's Huey, the intern with the suspenders. It's chaotic, but it's happy chaos. It's psychological safety.
Delilah is charmed by it. She walks in and feels the warmth immediately.
Yeah.
But Jackson is spiraling.
Jackson is in the booth, clutching a heart-shaped pillow. He is terrified.
But wait, he's a professional broadcaster. How can a radio guy be terrified of a microphone?
It's the context. Jackson reads scripts. He reads the weather report, which is data-driven.
Okay.
This is banter. This is personality radio. He has to be himself, not meteorologist Jackson Clark. And he doesn't know who himself is when he isn't reading a spreadsheet.
And the last time he did this, he had a panic attack, right?
Yes. He mentions the snow lightning incident.
Oh, yeah.
He panicked on air and ranted for 20 minutes about snow lightning.
Okay, we need to pause on snow lightning.
Oh.
Is that a real thing? Or did he make it up in a panic?
Oh, it is very real. It's also known as thunder snow.
Thunder snow?
Yeah.
That sounds like an AC/DC cover band.
It does, but it's actually a rare meteorological phenomenon. Usually thunder and lightning happen in warm air because you need rapid upward vertical motion convection. In winter, the air is cold and stable, so you don't get that lift. But if you have an incredibly intense winter storm, the air can be forced up quickly enough to create an electrical charge. So you get snow falling, but you also get thunder and lightning.
That sounds terrifying.
It is. It's usually an indicator of extremely heavy snowfall rates, like 2 to 3 inches per hour.
Okay.
So Jackson, in his panic, started lecturing the audience about atmospheric pressure and convection because he reverted to his safe space. Facts. He dissociated into science.
So back in the booth, he's afraid it's going to happen again. He's staring at the wall.
The soul has departed his body, as Delilah puts it.
And this is where the dynamic flips.
Yes.
Usually Jackson is the competent one and Delilah is the disaster. But here, Jackson is the disaster. He's frozen. He is non-functional.
Completely shut down.
And Delilah, who just had that heartbreaking call with her grandfather, who is tired and stressed,
Yeah.
she steps up.
Yeah.
She could have let him fail. She could have laughed.
She could have. But she sees his fear. She recognizes it. She doesn't mock him. She grabs his wrist.
That physical contact is crucial.
It grounds him.
She tells him, I'll be with you the entire time.
That line gives me chills. It's so simple, but it's exactly what he needs.
Exactly.
He needs to know he's not alone in the unpredictability. He's an only child in spirit. He's always been the one in charge. For someone to say, I'm here with you, is revolutionary for him.
It cements the partnership. It's no longer just, we are coworkers. It's, I have your back.
And it works. They get through the broadcast. Jackson is awkward. He starts lecturing about sleet versus snow like it's meatloaf leftovers.
Wait, meatloaf leftovers. I need to hear this analogy.
He compares sleet to the meatloaf leftovers of the meteorological world.
No.
Because sleet is rain that freezes before it hits the ground. It's refrozen like leftovers.
Oh my God.
Whereas snow is fresh. It's a choice.
It is a choice. It's such a dad joke, but it's sincere.
It's charming in its own way. It shows his passion. He loves the weather.
He does.
I just doesn't know how to translate that love into normal human conversation.
And Delilah knows how to talk to people, but she needs the science.
To ground her.
They fit, they cover each other's blind spots.
Exactly. They are puzzle pieces that look like they shouldn't fit, but they lock together perfectly.
So we have this setup. They are about to get in a car. They're about to drive 3 hours to Western Maryland into the teeth of a historic blizzard.
They have a contract. They have a tentative truce. But they are still fundamentally different people.
Jackson is bringing his anxieties, his need for control, his fear of failure.
And Delilah is bringing her need for respect, her hidden grief about her grandfather, and her chaotic energy.
And they're heading into a situation that neither of them can control.
Not at all.
A storm of this magnitude doesn't care about your spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And it doesn't care about your smile.
No. The mountains of Garrett County are unforgiving.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the Baltimore of it all.
Yes.
Because the setting feels like a character too. If you're not from the mid-Atlantic, some of these references might fly over your head, but they are crucial for grounding the story.
It really is a love letter to Baltimore quirk. Borison grounds the story in very specific local details. The Old Bay culture is implied everywhere.
We have to talk about Chap's Pit Beef.
Yes, Chap's Pit Beef. It is a legendary sandwich spot in Baltimore.
It is.
But it is famously located in the parking lot of a strip club.
Which leads to a great exchange.
Yeah.
Delilah asks Jackson if he's ever been, and he's so horrified.
Mortified.
He says, "Are you asking if I've been to the strip club?"
And she's like, no, the beef place. It highlights their difference in worldview again.
It does.
Delilah sees the quirky, delicious food. She sees the joy. Jackson sees the illicit location. He sees the rule breaking. He can't get past the geography to enjoy the sandwich.
And Mr. Trash Wheel.
For our non-Maryland listeners, Mr. Trash Wheel is a real thing.
It is.
It is a trash interceptor in the Baltimore harbor that uses water power to scoop up floating debris. But the city has anthropomorphized it. It has giant googly eyes.
It's beloved.
It has a Twitter account.
And Delilah treats him like a celebrity.
Right.
She did an interview with the Trash Wheel.
She did. And Jackson respects the utility of it. He likes that it cleans the water.
Sure.
But he doesn't get the googly eyes. He doesn't get the whimsy.
These details make the world feel lived in. It's not just a generic city. It's their city. And they are fighting for their place in it.
Absolutely. Jackson is fighting to maintain his safe little corner of it. His orderly apartment, his radio booth.
And Delilah is fighting to be taken seriously by it, to stop being the court jester of Baltimore.
That's it, exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the beginning of your song and the now, back to you. What is the big takeaway here? We've got psychology, we've got meteorology, we've got romance. What are we really looking at?
I think we're looking at the idea that fate isn't necessarily some cosmic destiny written in the stars.
Right.
Jackson denies fate. He hates the concept.
A silly thing for silly people, he calls it.
Right. But the story suggests that fate might just be two people filling the gaps in each other's lives.
I like that.
Jackson is pure order. Delilah is pure chaos. On their own, Jackson is stagnant. He's stuck in his trauma response. And Delilah is untethered. She's spinning out, trying to please everyone. Together, they might actually function.
Order filling chaos. Sunshine filling gloom. It's the physics of relationships.
Exactly. It's thermodynamics. High pressure always moves to low pressure. That's how storms form, and that's how relationships form.
Right.
You need the differential to create the energy. If they were both sunshine, there would be no spark. If they were both grumps, there would be no movement.
That is a beautiful way to put it. The storm isn't just happening outside the car, it's happening inside the car.
And frankly, it raises the provocative question, is it better to brace for the disaster you can predict, like Jackson does, bling his walls, stalking his cruffins?
Yeah.
Or is it better to embrace the chaos you can't, like Delilah, and just ride the wave?
As they head into this blizzard, I think they're both going to have to learn to do the opposite of their nature.
They are.
Jackson needs to loosen his grip and embrace the chaos. Delilah needs to find some stability and demand respect.
And most importantly, will the Post-it note contract hold up when the snow actually starts falling?
My money is on no.
I think you're right. The asterisk can only cover so many mishaps.
I used to love it.
When the car slides off the road, and you know the car is going to slide off the road, that contract is going out the window.
Well, You'll have to read the rest of the book to find out how that plays out. But for now, we leave Jackson and Delilah on the precipice of the storm. Thank you for unpacking this with us.
My pleasure.
I feel like I understand thunder, snow, and human trauma so much better now.
It's always a pleasure to connect the dots.
And to you, listening.
Hmm.
Profound change often comes dressed in a turtle suit. Or maybe it comes in the form of a snowstorm. Don't be afraid to let it knock you over. We'll see you in the next deep dive.